check, sound check.
Okay na. Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for joining us today. I'm Ryan Ponce Pacpaco, your moderator. Today, let us recognize first our House prosecutors. We have House prosecutors Jerbil Luistro from Batangas, Romeo Acop from Antipolo, Marcelino Nonoy Libanan from For Peace Party List, our House Minority Leader, Rods Gutierrez from One Rider Party List, Joel Chua from Manila, Raul Jing Bungalon from Ako Bicol, Isabel Mariabel Zamora from San Juan City, and Jonathan Kit Flores from Bukidnon. So before we turn over our prosecutors to their questions, let us hear first their short opening remarks. Ma'am, anyone from the group?
Magandang hapon po sa inyong lahat. Yung kahapon po at ngayon ay maraming mga nangyayari tungkol sa impeachment complaint na hinain po ng mababang kapulungan na pinirmahan ng 215 members of Congress. Bago po tayo magpatuloy, ay gusto natin ibigay ang ating microphone sa ating isa sa prosecutor, si Congresswoman Jinky Luistro. Congresswoman, you have the floor.
Good afternoon. Maraming salamat po for waiting. Pasensya na po, I know that all of you waited for this moment when the prosecution panel will finally give their comment to what happened last night in the Senate. Well, first of all, we welcome the impeachment court's service of summons to the Vice President. Apparently, the jurisdiction over the person of the respondent has been acquired already. She has a period of 10 days to answer. That is non-extendable. And we hope that all issues which are being raised in the impeachment court will be tackled as well in the answer of the Vice President. So finally, the people of the Philippines will see from the answer of the Vice President what her defenses are. Isa lamang po ibig sabihin nito, yung pag-acquire po ng jurisdiction ng impeachment court sa ating respondent kay Vice President Sara Zimmerman Duterte, it only shows na tuloy na ang impeachment trial. No one can stop this anymore because jurisdiction has been acquired already by the impeachment court over the person of the respondent. Now, with respect to the action of the Senate last night, the impeachment court requiring us to issue a certification about the compliance with the Constitution with respect to the filing of the impeachment complaint, as well as the second order, and that is for the 20th Congress to confirm whether we will pursue this impeachment complaint. medyo ang prosecution panel po ay nalalabuan dito sa naging order ng impeachment court kagabi. So we resolve to seek the clarification of the impeachment court. With respect to the first order about the certification pertaining to our compliance with the Constitution in filing the impeachment complaint, we maintain our position. Sumunod po kami fully and strictly to the requirements of the Constitution. We did not violate the one-year prohibition rule. With respect to the second order, it is impossible to be complied with because, first of all, 20th Congress doesn't exist yet. Tayo po ay nasa ika-labing-siyam na kongreso pa lamang. Mag-a-adjourn pa po, and we will be looking forward na mag-convene naman ang pa-20 Kongreso ng Pilipinas. That will be on July 28, simultaneous with the SONA. I wish to add, nakatanggap po tayo ng liham, or should I say, nakakita ng liham from the social media that the anticipated presentation of the articles of impeachment is canceled. Ang sabi po ng ating presiding officer ng impeachment court, the referral of the verified complaint to the impeachment court mooted already the presentation and the reading of the articles. This will be part of the clarification that we will be seeking from the impeachment court, sapagkat batid po natin na itong presentation ng articles ay bahagi ng Senate Rules on Impeachment, and we seek the guidance, we seek the enlightenment of the impeachment court so we can properly comply to the order that they issued last night. Finally, we wish to take advantage of this opportunity upang pasalamatan po ang taong bayan. Sa lahat po ng sumusuporta sa prosecution panel, sa House of Representatives, we had a mass this morning attended by different civil society groups. May mga nakasama po tayo religious leaders and even victims of EJK. Maraming salamat po. Rest assured, ang House of Representatives, ang prosecution panel, naninindigan po. Tuloy ang laban para sa katotohanan, hustisya, at pananagutan. Maraming salamat po.
Thank you, ma'am. Are there anyone from the prosecution panel who would like to give a message? If none, we will take the first question from Marian Enriquez of TV5.
Good afternoon po. Excited din yung mic. Ma'am, thank you, Kong Jinky, and to the rest of the prosecutors want to answer. Meron na po bang update kung natanggap na po ba muna natin itong received copy nung articles, yung pinababalik po na articles of impeachment? Meron na po ba? From the Senate?
We have no official information yet whether the articles of impeachment, which according to you is being returned by the Senate, was received already by the Secretary General. I hope you understand that the members of the prosecution panel here has no participation whatsoever in the proceeding of the office of the Secretary General. Let's wait and see kung anong official information ng SecGen.
But ano pong action po ng ating prosecution team? Tatanggapin po ba itong articles of impeachment, yung pag-remand? And what was your reaction to that while watching it last night?
Well, in my opinion, as one of the member of the panel of prosecutors, to give way to the clarification which we want to seek from the impeachment court, I would defer receiving the articles of impeachment from the Senate, including whatever orders they will be transmitting to us. This is not disobedience. Definitely, ang gusto lang po natin mangyari is to seek guidance and enlightenment first so we can properly comply with the order of the impeachment court.
When you say you would like to seek guidance, may coordination na po ba with the Senate? Ano po yung ginagawa nating pakikipag-usap sa kanila para maliwanagan po tayo doon sa mga orders nila?
We will be drafting the necessary motion seeking for clarification of the order which they issued last night.
So nakita po kasi namin kanina si Sergeant at Arms ng Senate kanina and hindi nga wala pa pong nag-receive ng copy. So technically hindi po muna tatanggapin ng Kamara ang pagbabalik ng articles of impeachment and magpapasa po muna tayo ng tama ba, ma'am?
To give way to our efforts to clarify first the order, in my opinion, I would defer receiving the articles of impeachment, including the order issued by the impeachment court.
Excuse me. Yung tatanggap ng order po dito, kung mayroon man, ay ang Office of the Secretary General. Hindi po namin alam kung ano ang magiging action ng Secretary General. Pero kung tanggapin niya, doon po kami magdi-decide. Be that as it may, kami po ay naniniwala na ang power to initiate ng impeachment complaint ay nasa House, lalo na pag pinirmahan ito, in-endorse ng isang congressman at pinagbutuhan sa plenaryo. Itong nangyari dito, hindi lang itong ordinaryong impeachment. 215 of our members signed the impeachment complaint. Kaya first time ito na nangyari na may return sa atin. Kaya nangangailangan tayo ng clarification po dito. Bagamat prosecutors po kami at impeachment court sila, naguguluhan pa rin kami. At hindi namin maintindihan kung bakit ibabalik po ito sa amin. Ano po ang gagawin namin. Yun po ang isang bagay na kailangan namin maliwanagan.
Sorry. Second to my last question na lang po. Some legal experts po are saying na instead of following the Constitution, itong mga senators po natin, they're creating legal issues po. And will you challenge this po ba? Itong ginawa po ng Senado sa Supreme Court, itong pag-remand, is this abuse of discretion na po ba?
Ito pong sa ngayon, ang desisyon ng House Prosecution Panel is to submit clarification muna. So with respect to other legal remedies, hindi pa namin to napagdidesisyonan until such time ma-receive namin yung sagot sa clarification.
Kong Chua, you also mentioned kanina nagtataka kayo dun sa ginawa nga desisyon ng Senado at sila pa yung nagmosyon o mismong mga hurado. And you quote, sinabi nyo po, sila na yung parang nag-aabogado mismo kay VP Sara Duterte. How optimistic are you po na there will still be a fair and impartial trial?
Well, yun po ay personal opinion ko. Hindi ko po alam kung ano yung opinion ng aking mga kasama. And in fact, nung akin rin pong personal na opinion, ito pong ginawa na pagbalik sa amin ng articles of impeachment ay sa aking paniniwala ay unconstitutional. Dahil wala naman po ito wala naman po ito sa kanilang kapangyarihan at ito po ay inaasahan natin na kung meron man mga motion na gagawin, ang gagawa po nito ay yung sa defense. Kaya yun po ay aking personal na opinion.
Anyone? Okay na po. Thank you.
Thank you, Marian. Isa Ubendanyo Umali from GMA-DCWB. You're recognized. Isa. Lumabas. Report. Big Sumintak from Net25.
Magandang hapon po. May we know now kung ano na ang status ng article of impeachment in your point of view na kagabi po ay dinicide nga po ng impeachment court na mayroong mga nakita silang mga procedural lapses and constitutional question doon sa 7 article of impeachment kasi pinoint out din nung mga nagsulong ng motion, particularly Senator Alan Peter Cayetano, yung first, second, and third impeachment.
Sa tingin po namin, yung nangyari kagabi ay parang produkto ng compromise nila sa Senado. Paano silang matapos matapos yung usapin. Pero sa kabuuan ay tuloy ang impeachment, ang proceedings, ang trial. Kasi pinasagot na po yung ating Vice Presidente at binigyan siya ng 10 days to answer. Ibig sabihin, buhay na buhay dahil pag sumagot ng ating Vice Presidente ay matutuloy na. Bagamat, nandun na tayo sa period na patapos na ang 19th Congress at magsisimula na yung 20th Congress. Sa amin naman, may gusto silang hinging certification. Palagay ko po gusto lang nilang makasiguro, pero makikita po natin kung masatisfy kami sa hinihingi nila, wala namang problema nga yun. Parang certification requirement lang. At any rate, it is presumed that our duty has been, there's the presumption of regularity in the performance of official functions. Lahat ng nasa gobyerno, yan po ang presumption. At maliwanag ito na 215 na nag-endorse sa impeachment complaint. So, ang take namin, tuloy po ito.
Sir, in your point of view as prosecutors, particularly Congressman o Woman Luis Tromam, na nag-acquire na ng jurisdiction yung impeachment court dahil pinadala na ng summon ang respondent. Pero hindi kaya yung summon na yon pending the action of the Senate last night na kine-question nila yung regularity ng article of impeachment, hindi kaya yun magamit ng depensa para questionin nila na anong sasagutin nila doon sa summons? Well, in fact, the article of impeachment was remand to the House of Representatives.
Under the rules, and even in ordinary courts, not just the impeachment court, yung service ng summons, that triggers acquisition of jurisdiction. And that is why I said earlier, we welcome this development. Bagaman naguguluhan po kami dun sa order kagabi, we are happy and thankful to the impeachment court because finally, the summons has been served already to the Vice President. And as I have stated, this only shows tuloy na tuloy ang impeachment trial. I wish to believe na yung hinihinging certification ng impeachment court is only a clarification or perhaps affirmation ng naging compliance ng Senate when we filed the impeachment complaint. But I wish to humbly invite the attention of the people to the ruling of then Presiding Officer Juan Ponce Enrile. That was during the time of the impeachment trial of Chief Justice Corona. Ang sabi po niya doon sa resolution, when there is compliance in the two basic requirements, that is the signature by at least 1/3 of all members of the House, and there is the verification, the filing of the impeachment complaint already enjoys presumption of legality. And that cannot be questioned anymore unless there is strong controverting evidence. Napakaliwanag po niyan. And I believe that this is still a very good law which should guide our impeachment court. No? Gusto ko lang pong balikan yung inyong question kanina. Anong status ng articles of impeachment? Considering that there are efforts to return. I humbly believe that the case is very much active and alive. Why? No less than the order of the Senate last night stated that the case is not dismissed, not terminated. Ibig sabihin, buhay na buhay ang kaso, pending sa impeachment court, reason also kung bakit kami man po ay nagtataka kung bakit ibabalik ang articles of impeachment dito sa House of Representatives.
One last point from my end. Ma'am, since we know na co-equal body ang Senate at saka House of Representatives, the House of Representatives will initiate the impeachment. The Senate will be the trial court. Since na kine-question nila yung legality or the constitutionality of the impeachment complaint or article of impeachment, hindi ba ito isang insulto sa co-equal body?
Yun, isa rin po yun sa aming pinagtataka dahil normally po, ang magtatanong po niyan o magko-question niyan, yung mga abogado ng respondent. Kaya nga po kami po naniniwala na ito po ay hindi sakop sa trabaho ng impeachment court. Dahil yung pagko-question po ng mga legality ay dapat po ay sinasagot o tinutugon po ng korte at hindi po ng impeachment court.
Can I add to that? Bagamat kami po ay co-equal body, ang House at saka ang Senate, sa pagkakataon pong ito ay medyo naiba kasi impeachment court na sila at prosecutors po kami. Kaya parang nakikita natin, parang sa husgado, may mga orders ang korte. Ngayon, kailangan din kami mag-clarify dito. Pero sa dulo, ay kailangan ang taong bayan mapakinggan po dito. Kaya kung kinakailangan makinig kami at gumawa ng mga hakbang para matuloy po ito, ay gagawin po namin bilang public prosecutors.
Thank you, Vic. Gab Lalu from Inquirer Online. Please proceed with your questions.
Sir, natanong na po, Sir Sen, ma'am, natanong na po kasi yung tungkol sa yung pagiging quasi-judicial ng impeachment court na merong mga proseso na ina-adopt yung impeachment court na galing sa mga regular na courts. Pero pwede kaya maging dahilan po ng Senate na dahil hindi naman sila korte, pwedeng mag-motion yung mga members ng yung mga senator judges. Pwede kaya maging dahilan yun. Kasi technically po, sa korte, di ba, hindi naman po nagmo-motion ng judge. Tumatanggap lang po sila ng motion. Pero dahil quasi-judicial po, pwede po kayang mangyari yun. Or I mean, pwede po nilang ma-justify po yun.
Medyo naiintindihan ko po yung pinanggalingan ng pagtatanong ninyo kasi nung nag-oath pa lang sila, kailangan silang maging impartial, di ba? Doon sa oath pa lang ng mga senador na nagko-constitute sila na impeachment court. Pero nakikita naman po natin na pwede nilang gawin kasi ginawa nga na nga kagabi. Pero whatever it is, kami pa rin ay may respeto sa kanilang proseso at nagagalak din po kami na ipagpapatuloy po ito. Kaya nga, binigyan na ng summons ang ating Vice President.
Second question po, nung meron po kasing previous briefing na sinabi ni Representative Zamora na hindi ipo-pull out ng House yung articles of impeachment from the Senate. Dahil walang mechanism sa 1987 Constitution to do that. Is this sentiment shared by everyone? Or would it be the basis of the clarification?
As far as the prosecution panel is concerned, no? Maliwanag naman po sa Constitution. The House of Representatives has the exclusive power to initiate all impeachment cases. Tapos na po ang trabaho ng House of Representatives in as far as initiating the impeachment complaint is concerned. Hindi po tama na ito'y aming amyendahan at lalong hindi tama na ito'y aming withdraw. As a matter of fact, the ball now is in the hands of the Senate, whose mandate by the Constitution is to try and to decide. And by deciding, dalawang bagay lang po yun. It's either they acquit or they convict.
Last question pa from my end. Naintindihan po namin yung courtesy na ina-extend ng prosecution panel sa impeachment court, just like in any other legal proceeding. Pero siguro to break the ice, gaano pa po kahaba yung pasensya nyo? Ang dami na po kasing nangyari na parang delay, ganyan. Dapat po nung February, ang tingin nyo, dapat doon na nag-start. Pero gaano pa po kahaba yung pasensya? Kaya pa po pa?
Tanungin natin yung prosecutor na may pinakamahabang pasensya dito. Sino ba sa atin may pinakamahabang pasensya? Bel, would you like to answer?
Opo, mapagpasensya po kami. At kami naman po, ginagawa lang naman po namin ang trabaho namin under the Constitution. So, kung ano man po ang sagot namin sa maski anong press briefing, maski anong interview, we are all united in following the Constitution and lahat po ng gagawin namin henceforth will be under the Constitution and under the Senate impeachment rules. Yun lang.
If I may give my own personal opinion about the matter, kasi iba po yung personalidad ng House, kami as members of the House, kami as members of the prosecution group. Kaiba po yun. As members of the House, co-equal kami. Pero as prosecutors, we obey yung mga orders ng mga judges. Di po ba? So, kami sumusunod sa mga utos ng impeachment court because we are the prosecutors. Pero kung the way I look at it, yung pong communication is addressed to the House. So, yung House leadership ang magkukuha nito.
magde-decide. Hindi po kami ng mga prosecutors. Yun lang po ang take ko rito. Marami po salamat.
Can I add to that? Ang tanong hanggang saan yung pasensya po namin? Kami po ay gusto po rin namin magbakasyon. Kasi sinidyo na kami ngayong gabi. Pero nautusan po kami ng plenaryo na mag-prosecute. Kaya nag-aaral po kami at naghahanda. At nakahanda po kami. Ito po ay utos ng taong bayan sa atin. Pero sabi nga nila, it takes two to tango, di ba? Pag nag-prosecute kami, wala namang korte, anong magagawa po namin? Kaya nandito tayo sa sitwasyong ito, na thankful naman kami na may patutunguhan din ito paglampas ng 19th Congress patungo sa 28th Congress. Siguro ganun ang konsolasyon po natin. Pero sa ganang sa House na party, nandito po kami at gagampanan po namin sana ang aming tungkulin ngayong 19th Congress. At kung kami po bibigyan ulit ng ganong duties and responsibilities, lalo na't lahat naman nanalo yung nandito, at mag-iba pala except isang prosecutor namin, gagawin pa rin po namin yung aming katungkulan, yung aming tungkulin. Maraming salamat po.
Thank you, Gab. Let us hear the next questions from Jonathan Andal of GMA7.
Ano pong guidance and directive ni Speaker sa inyo po tungkol dito sa pag-remand ng articles of impeachment? Meron po ba, if ever?
Wala po namang sinasabi sa amin si Speaker. Nandun ang ating Speaker yata, very busy ngayon sa pag-inspection ng San Juan Nico Bridge. At nandito na tayo, hindi na kailangan nito ng guidance ng Speaker. Tayo po ay binigyan na ng tungkulin ng plenaryo. Kaya, siyempre, nagmi-meeting na lang kami kung anong susunod na hakbang na gagawin namin. Sa ngayon po ay yung clarification kung ano man pag dumating sa atin yung kanilang communication.
Ang boto po kagabi, 18-5-0. 17? It's 18. 18. Okay. Yun yung boto po kagabi. Sa tingin nyo, yun din ba yung, may mga nagsasabi na baka yun na rin yung posisyon ng mga senador at maging boto pag umusad yung trial. Naniniwala po ba kayo ron?
It is very hard to preempt kung anong magiging decision ng mga senator judges until and unless we have concluded the presentation of our evidence. That is why we really have to follow the Constitution. And the mandate by the Constitution to the impeachment court to try and to decide. No? Mahirap pong isipin o sabihin na yung boto kahapon, ayun na rin ang magiging boto sa impeachment case sapagkat wala pa po ni isang ebidensyang naiilatag ang prosecution. No? Until and unless we are done with the presentation of all the evidence, I think that's the time we begin to think ano kaya ang magiging boto ng ating mga senator judges.
Are you done with your questions? Okay. Bibian Gulia from ABS-CBN. Go ahead.
Okay. Ma'am, as far as the Senate is concerned, ang decision po nila ay i-remand sa House of Representatives yung articles of impeachment. But ang House po ayaw munang tanggapin itong articles of impeachment while seeking clarification, will it be accurate to say na mayroon pong deadlock?
I don't think so. We are not defying the order. We are not disobeying the order. What I said earlier, we are deferring the receipt until we are clarified on the actions taken by the Senate last night. Ano ba yung tatlong actions? Number one, they're asking for the certification of the House of Representatives that we complied with the requirements in filing an impeachment complaint. Itong requirements po na ito ay ang pagpirma ng at least 1/3 of all the members of the House and the verification, of course, at non-violation of the one-year bar rule. We are certain, and it is in the face of the impeachment complaint, that we are fully and strictly compliant with the requirements of the Constitution. Kanina nabanggit ko na rin po ang resolution ng then presiding officer Juan Ponce Enrile when there is compliance with the first two basic requirements. The filing of the impeachment complaint already enjoys the presumption of legality, that it cannot be questioned anymore unless there is strong evidence to the contrary, no? Pangalawa, they're asking for the confirmation of the 20th Congress, whether it will pursue the impeachment complaint against the Vice President. How can this order be complied when the 20th Congress does not yet exist? Wala pa pong 20th Congress. Nasa 19th Congress pa lang po tayo. So, who will comply? The second order. Number 3, bagaman ito po'y hindi part ng order nila, but I saw a letter in the social media, rendered moot ang presentation of articles because the verified complaint has been referred already to the impeachment court. Ito po'y gusto namin maklarify lahat sapagkat yung una, we are fully compliant with the Constitution. Yung pangalawa, wala pang 20th Congress. At yun pong pangatlo, the presentation of articles, that is part of their own rules. And we are ready to present the articles. Why suddenly biglang rendered moot when no less than the rules on impeachment of the Senate provides for the same? Again, we do not defy. We do not disobey. We are merely deferring receipt of the same to give way to the clarification of all these issues surrounding the actions taken by the Senate last night. That is in as far as I am concerned, as part of the prosecution panel, because as I have said earlier, hindi naman po bahagi ng trabaho ng prosecutors ang pagtanggap nung ibinabalik na articles of impeachment, including the receipt of whatever order issued by the Senate, especially if it is addressed to the House of Representatives. Let us wait and see as to the action that will be taken by the Office of the Secretary General.
Pero may assurance po ba na susunod kung halimbawa ma-clarify na po or depende pa sa magiging response ng Senate?
As soon as this is clarified and the clarification is in accordance with the Constitution, the Senate rules on impeachment and other existing laws, we will certainly abide. Dahil kagaya ng sinabi po ng aking mga kasama, ibang usapan to, impeachment court ito. Sila po ang judges at kami po ang prosecutors. We are morally bound to follow the orders of the impeachment court.
Clarification lang din, ma'am, kasi last day na po ng session today. So wala po bang compliance na mangangailangan ng House plenary action?
At this point, what we are considering is to prepare a motion seeking for clarification.
Also, sa tingin niyo po ba yung ikalawang utos ng Senado ay parang admission na rin na pwedeng tumawid sa 20th Congress itong impeachment trial?
That's the way I see it. And that's one of the several things that I wish to welcome. Yun pong kautosan nila na address sa 20th Congress, indeed, is an implied admission already that we can continue the impeachment trial until the 20th Congress.
Final clarification. Yung withdrawal ng impeachment complaint or articles of impeachment by the House, it's off the table. Tama po ba yun? And are you considering to bring the matter to the Supreme Court?
About the impeachment complaint being withdrawn, that is outside the power of the Congress already, because we have concluded our function and power to initiate the impeachment complaint. Tapos na po yun. The ball is already in the hands of the Senate, whose duty is to try and decide. No? Walang amendment, walang withdrawal na manggagaling po sa House of Representatives. Hindi po yan pinapayagan ng Constitution. And then your next question? That is a matter that we have yet to discuss.
Ma'am, clarification lang, Congressman.
Before you
Congressman
proceed with
Jerby.
your question, we would like to acknowledge the presence of House Quadcom Lead Chair, Congressman Robert Ace Barbers of Surigao del Norte. Is your question, Vic, related to the question of BBN? Okay.
Yes.
Okay, proceed.
Ma'am Jerbel, clarification lang. Kasi ang sabi ninyo, since nag-acquire na ng jurisdiction ng impeachment court doon sa impeachment case, doon sa nakita nyo na na-post sa social media that renders moot and academic, yung supposed to be today a presentation na ng article of impeachment. Miwi, no, kumbaga, clarification, tinututulan nyo yung cancellation ng presentation since the impeachment court acquired the jurisdiction on the matter.
We are not opposing. We are seeking clarification. And perhaps if the impeachment court will issue an order that the presentation of the article is impliedly complied with, we may accede to that. We are just following the Senate rules on impeachment. And the presentation of the articles is one of the significant part of their own rules on impeachment.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you, Vic. From Philippine Daily Inquirer, Krisha Subing-Subing is now acknowledged.
Hello po. Medyo related din po sa question ni Ate Vivian kanina. So, kailan at paano po magsisik ng clarification sa Senate if Congress adjourns by today po? I mean, the past few months has shown us that the Senate refuses to convene into an impeachment court kapag walang session po. So, I guess, is it possible na yung 20th Congress Senate na po yung makapagbigay ng clarification sa House po on their motion kagabi?
Can we address the question to the good-looking prosecutor, Rog Gutierrez?
Sorry, just to be clear, can we have a repeat of the question? Just to be very clear.
Kailan and paano po magsisik ng clarification yung House prosecution regarding the move by the Senate yesterday? Kasi as the past few months have shown us, hindi po ayaw mag-convene ng Senate as an impeachment court kapag walang session. And so we can expect that until June 30. So is it possible na sa 20th Congress Senate pa po magkaroon ng clarification sa mga tinatanong ng House?
To be frank lang po, I don't think it would be a fair statement to say we cannot preempt the impeachment court. We cannot substitute their decision. We cannot say for sure that they will not convene po, no? So what is very clear for us here in the prosecution panel is that we will be seeking clarification, and it will be addressed not to the Senate but to the impeachment court. Now, the question of whether or not they will convene, I think that only they can answer po, no?
And ma'am, tama po ba yung pagkakaintindi ko? You will file, you are preparing a motion to be read at the plenary later po.
Motion seeking for clarification.
And then my second question po, it seems that you and other legal experts agree po na the Senate does not have constitutional power to remand po. So, in your opinion, does the House have the power to reject the remand? Is that a possible pathway for you?
Rog, would you like to continue? Marami kang fans dito.
Of course, I don't know if we can speak for everyone po, no? But from our understanding and as per what we have discussed earlier, I think it's very clear. Originally, although they are co-equal as members of the House and as members, senators, very different po in dynamics when we are now talking of the impeachment court and the prosecution panel. All that we can say for sure is that we believe that we have followed the Constitution. We are confident in that the proper processes were obeyed. So if there is that remanding, whether or not that would be within their powers, that would be something not for us to decide. Now, when it comes to the rejection, it's, for lack of a better term, we would probably, like we mentioned, we would defer po, no? Just to be clear, so we are deferring for pending clarification. Now, once the response has been received, then again we will decide po, no, if it is clear enough that it is something that we can actually comply with po, no? I hope that would clarify it.
Yun na po. Thanks, Kuya Ray.
Thank you, Krisha. Mela Lismoras from PTV4.
Hi, good afternoon po, Prosex. Sulitin ko na lang po yung pagkakataon since I think this is the first time na medyo marami po tayong humarap dito nga sa isang press conference. For the record, ano-ano po yung articles na assigned sa inyo? Pwede po bang sumagot one by one? And gaano, nasa na po yung preparation natin ngayon? Gaano kahalaga na marinig po ito ng ating mga kababayan? Kasi up until now, ang dami na nating naging process dito nga sa impeachment proceedings, pero may mga nagsasabi pa rin na it's all about politics, may mga ganong criticisms. Can you just share ano pong articles and ano na po yung update sa preparation nyo at gaano ito kahalaga na marinig ng taong bayan sa pamamagitan ng impeachment trial?
Una po, gusto kong balikan kanina yung tanong, yung tungkol sa can we reject it? Di ba? Ngayon, na-return nila sa amin, na-reject. Baka magbula-bula po ito, wala nang patutunguhan. Yun po ang ayaw nating mangyari. Ang importante po dito, ang interest ng taong bayan at saka yung duties and obligations natin. Kung kailangan may mag-bend siguro dito, kami ang prosecutors, sila ang judges, kailangan kung compliable, kung pwede namin gawin na hindi makukompromise yung aming strategy, ay siguro baka kailangan namin gawin. Pangalawa, yung tanong po ni Ma'am tungkol sa articles, sa preparation po namin. Ngayong araw nga po, nakahanda na po kaming mag-present, pero pinigilan lang po namin. Pero ayaw po namin muna magsalita para hindi naman namin mat-telegraph kung anong gagawin namin. Pero nandun, nakalabas na po yung articles of impeachment.
Sir, ilang percentage na lang po? So, with that po, you're saying 100% na nga kayo sanang prepare. Tama po ba?
Tama po.
Thank you, Mela. Jong Manlapas from DZRJ.
Kay Congressman Chua. Sabi niyo po kanina na unconstitutional, sa saligang batas, wala sa saligang batas yung, o unconstitutional yung ginawa ng Senate. Sa palagay po ba ninyo, magkaroon ng constitutional crisis po itong hakbang ng Senate?
Siyempre, yun po yung iniiwasan po natin na mangyari yon dahil ang gusto po natin umusad itong impeachment complaint dahil at the end of the day, ito naman po ay ginagawa po natin dahil interesado rin po ang taong bayan na malaman tungkol po dito. So, sa akin pong paniniwala, ito naman po ay mariresolba ng maayos. At ito po ay gagawin po natin hanggat, sabi nga po kanina, kung gaano kahaba ang aming pasensya, hahabaan pa po namin para ma-resolve lamang itong kinakaharap nating impeachment.
Sa palagay niyo po ba na mayroong pagmamalabis ang impeachment court nang ibinalik sa inyo kahit na sinasabi nga ninyo na wala sa Constitution yung hakbang nila?
Kaya nga po magsasubmit po kami ng clarificatory questions para malinawan po kami kung ano po talaga yung kanilang mga ninanais.
Sa reaction lang po, sabi po ni Senador De La Rosa na tantamount to dismissal na raw po yung impeachment case nang ibinalik sa inyo.
Unang-una po, ang trabaho po ng Senado bilang impeachment court ay to try at hindi po mag-dismiss. So, inaantay po namin ngayon na gampanan po nila ang kanilang constitutional duty.
Last na lang po, sabi ni po Senador De La Rosa, ginabayan siya ng Holy Spirit. Kanina po, nasa misa kayo, dinasalang kayo. Humingi po ba kayo ng gabay sa Holy Spirit din?
Ang unang-una, lahat naman po tayo, yun po ang gusto natin, gabayan tayo ng Holy Spirit. Pero ang pinakatamang gabay po dito sa impeachment proceeding ay ang ating saligang batas.
Okay, let us now recognize Earl Tobias from IBC 13.
Good afternoon po. To our prosecutors, once and for all po, dapat ngayong araw nakatakdang magpresenta ang prosecution panel ng Articles of Impeachment sa Senado. Ano na pong mangyayari? Pupunta pa po ba ang prosecution panel ngayong gabi? O sabi po ninyo kayo na Prosec Libanan, kayo'y handa na sana pero napigilan. So ibig sabihin po ba hindi ito mangyayari ngayong last session ng Senado?
Hingi muna po kami ng clarification sa kanilang nare-request sa Kongreso. Hindi na po kami muna matutuloy magpunta doon. Ano naman ang gagawin namin? Kasi ang dapat na gagawin namin on their invitation, in-invite tayo nung June 2, tapos ginawa nilang June 11. Nakahanda kami kasi silang nag-imbita. Ngayon, sinasabi nila hindi na matutuloy. So, hindi na kami pupunta roon. Kasi baka lalo lang magkagulo kung anong gagawin namin doon. At marami pa rin naman kaming ginagawa dito sa Kongreso. Ito po yung last day of session namin. Ito pong pagtatapos ng 19th Congress ngayong gabi.
Thank you po. Follow-up na lang. Kung Luistro, being that it's a matter again of decision kung kailan yung rescheduling ng presentation of articles of impeachment, and you saying kanina na merong sapat na basihan, constitutional basis na dapat ang 20th Congress may clear jurisdiction na with the impeachment trial ni Vice President Sara Duterte. Pero nabanggit din kanina na kapag bola-bola ang proseso, mukhang mahihirapan sa pag-usad. Do you expect pa po ba the narrative of a Senate impeachment court wherein senator judges can move motions back and forth during the trial, or as prosecution panel, sana po hindi ganun yung mangyari?
We ask another good-looking prosecutor, Jill Bungalyun.
Thank you. Pwede pakulit lang ng tanong.
Basically, Prosec, kanina nabanggit po ni Prosec Libanan na kung bola-bola yung proseso na parang back and forth nga na kaninong korte ba yung desisyon. Do you expect po ba ay Senate impeachment court whereas ang naratibo ay may magmo-move na motion na senator judge between or sa kasagsagan mismo ng trial, and merong mga proseso na atras, merong mga proseso na abante, or as prosec panel, sana po ba hindi ganun yung mangyari?
Well, as a prosecutor, as a member of the prosecution panel, we expect that they will expedite within a reasonable frame yung conduct ng trial. And as much as possible, we want to avoid this kind of motion because it amounts to dilatory, no? Nadidelay lang po yung impeachment. So, we are guided under the Constitution that the Senate shall have the power to try and decide the case. So, malinaw naman dun. We should proceed with the trial, and I guess all the members of the prosecution panel are ready with the trial.
Thank you, Earl. It's your turn now. Dwight De Leon from Rappler.
Hello po, good afternoon. Yun pong sa request ng Senate, yung sa motion nila, dalawa nga po yun, and you've mentioned already that the second part of the motion cannot be complied with because the House is currently in the 19th Congress. So, do you think that the delay is deliberate? The Senate is deliberately delaying the impeachment trial?
Let's ask one more good-looking prosecutor, Congressman Keith Flores.
Intentionally delaying it, medyo mahirap yan na question but they could have, yeah, we cannot speak for them, no? But then again, di ba, paulit-ulit din nilang sinasabi, but Cheese has been saying that they cannot bind the 20th Congress Senate. Yet, in their orders, they're making us comment for the 20th Congress. So, back to them, di ba? Sila na may sabi nun, tapos sila din naglagay sa order nila. And it's very impossible to comply with such an order. So if it's impossible to comply with such an order, how can we move forward if it is a condition of moving forward? Kaya sinasabi namin na parang dapat it should be baliwala lang yung order na yun kasi it's impossible to do as of the time.
So in the House prosecution panel's view, do you think the Senate is delaying the process, deliberately delaying the process?
I cannot speak for everyone, no? But for me, yes. Sorry.
Okay po. By asking the House po to issue a certification that the House did not violate the Constitution, was the Senate, do you think that the Senate was already putting a premium on the arguments presented by by Sara Duterte's camp? Because yung mga arguments kahapon ni Nabato, seconded by Senator Bongo, it was in all of those were in the petition filed by Sara Duterte with the Supreme Court. Specifically, yun nga po yung violation of the one-year bar rule. Do you think that the Senate is already, or the impeachment court rather, is already putting a premium on those arguments even before hindi pa tayo dumidiretso sa full trial proper?
Well, we cannot speak for them, no? But in as far as the prosecution panel is concerned, that is not really an issue because we are certain that we strictly and fully complied with the requirements of the Constitution with respect to the filing of the impeachment complaint, including the 3 prior complaints.
Ma'am, another question lang po. Legally or constitutionally po, can the reading of articles of impeachment by the House, yung nakaschedule po sana today, can that be considered moot? Kasi yun po nga po yung sinasabi kagabi ni Senate President Escudero.
That is why we're seeking for their clarification, no? Because it is the Senate Rules on Impeachment itself which provides for the presentation of the articles of impeachment before convening the impeachment court. And that's why we're following it strictly and receiving or seeing a letter which says that it is canceled because it is mooted by the referral of the impeachment complaint to the impeachment court raises an issue for the prosecution panel. Ano ba ito? That's why we need to be enlightened. At nasabi ko na po kanina, if the impeachment court will issue an order that the presentation of the articles in accordance with their rules is impliedly complied with, we might accede to that. Kaya lang without that order, it is hard to rely on assumption.
And sa statement niyo po kanina, sa opening statement po ninyo, you said na buhay na buhay po yung impeachment trial. Why did the House Prosecution Panel choose to adopt that view considering na may ibang sa Senate Minority Bloc, mayroon silang sentimiento na yun ngang pag-remand ng kaso ng impeachment articles sa House of Representatives is tantamount to a dismissal or functional dismissal or tantamount to termination of the proceedings?
Well, we wish to be clarified first before we make a stand on whether that order to return or remand is tantamount to the dismissal of the impeachment complaint. Unless we are clarified on that order, I believe that to speak on that issue will be premature.
Thank you po, thank you po. Thank you po, prosecutors.
Willie Delgado from DZMM.
Magandang hapon ho. Curious lang ako doon sa word na order. Once na na-convene na po yung impeachment court, may co-equal pa ba tayo matatawag between Congress and the Senate?
Kanina po binanggit na ng ating lead prosecutor na when we talk about the impeachment court, iba na po ang setup dyan. We might be co-equal as a legislative body, the Senate and the Congress. But when we speak about the impeachment court, they are the senator judges and we are the prosecutors. I believe we are obliged to comply with their orders.
So you're bound to
follow.
To follow the orders.
For as long as the orders are within the bounds of the law.
Okay. Meron pa po ba tayong magaganap na reading of articles in the future?
That will be one of the matters which we seek to be clarified.
Okay. One last point. Pwede po bang bigay ng malinaw na kung ano yung kinahinatnan ng tatlong articles, impeachment complaint versus dun sa pang-apat? Kasi kung babalikan natin yung mga statement kagabi ni Senator Alan Cayetano, indirectly meron siyang tinutumbok na na parang nagkaroon ng error during the process. Specifically yung rules of procedure ng impeachment, mukhang ang pinatutungkulan niya is Rule 2, Section 3. Paki-enlighten nga po kami ron.
Bel Zamora will answer your question.
Hi, for everyone's clarity, there were, as we know, there were 3 impeachment complaints filed in December. So the first one was filed on December 2. And under the Constitution, an impeachment complaint filed by a member or a public citizen, which is endorsed by a member, shall be calendared in the order of business of the House within 10 session days. So, for everyone's clarity, again, February 5 fell as the 10th session day. This is different po from calendar days, so we shouldn't count 10 calendar days from December 2. So all of the impeachment complaints, the 3 impeachment complaints were included in the order of business on February 5, which was the 10th session day. So pasok po siya doon sa requirement ng ating Constitution. Ngayon po, ano hong nangyari doon? Nung nakakalendar po siya, binasa po ito sa ating plenary session because there was already a 4th impeachment complaint which consolidated actually all of the articles in the different complaints. Pinagsama-sama po. Kaya po yung 3 impeachment complaints ay na-archive na lang po. Pasok po siya doon sa requirement ng Constitution na makalendar sa session within 10 session days. Yun po yung requirement. Kaya kami po ay, ang House of Representatives po ay fully compliant with the constitutional requirements as well as the rules of Congress.
Ito kaya yung naging dahilan kung bakit naglabas sila ng remand order kagabi?
Isa po yun sa dahilan sa tingin ko. But I think it's because they did not, with the due respect, they did not understand the House rules and what happened during the last day of our sessions then.
So most likely ito yung lalamanin halimbawa nung magiging clarification, Attorney Jinky? Okay. One last point. May nakikita ho ba kayong victory with the numbers ng mga senators na umayon para i-remand yung articles of impeachment? 17 versus 5.
Sabi ko na po kanina, it will be improper to preempt the judgment of the senators and senator judges until and unless we have concluded the presentation of our evidence. We are confident. We have strong 7 articles of impeachment supported by ample and convincing evidence.
Thank you po.
Thank you. Pamela Vasquez from DCMM, sorry.
Pero naniniwala po ba kayo na hindi po sana humantong doon sa pagreban kung nabigyan po sana ng chance ang House Prosecution na humarap po sa Senate Impeachment Court and nabasa sana yung articles of impeachment?
Well, it is hard to speculate on what really prompted the issuance of that order. And that is precisely the reason why instead of reacting to the order, we prefer to seek first for clarification. No, we are inclined to believe na they are supporting also the mandate of our Constitution. That is what we want to believe, in as far as we are concerned, because we must be reminded of the fact that sovereignty resides in the people, all government authority emanates from them, and all of us, the prosecutors and even the senator judges, we are all bound to follow the letter and the spirit of the Philippine Constitution.
May we get lang din po yung reaction ng House Prosec doon po sa ilang senator judge na tumangging magsuot ng robe last night. Confident or kumpiyansa pa rin po ba yung House Prosec na magiging impartial yung Senate Impeachment Court dahil po dun sa hindi pagsuot ng ibang senator judge?
Chairman Akop, would you like to answer? Be gentle.
Pakiulit nga po yung katanungan para
Reaction.
mayroon akong pagkakataon na mag-isip.
May reaction lang po doon kasi some senator judges refused to wear yung robes po during the convening ng impeachment court. So, ano po bang basa doon ng House Prosecution and kumpiyansa rin po ba ang panel na magiging impartial po ang Senate Impeachment Court?
I do not know the reason why some of the senator judges refuse to wear their robes. Di po ba? So that's a matter of discipline within the Senate or within the impeachment court. Bahala na po yung presiding judge na magdisiplina sa kanila. Number 2, kung kumpiyansa po kami na, ano po?
Na magiging impartial nga po given na nag-refuse na magsuot ng robe yung ibang senator judge.
Hindi naman po kayo magtatanong sa amin kung wala po kayong conclusion, di po ba? Your conclusion is as good as mine. Diba?
And speaking of pagdidisiplina nga po ng presiding judge, satisfied naman po ba kayo doon sa naging pag-handle po ng presiding judge last night?
Tinatanong mo ako ngayon kung satisfied ako sa pag-handle.
House Prosec panel.
Well, to tell you frankly, from my experiences, Kasi siguro dito sa linyang ito, akong pinakamatanda eh. If you ask me, my personal opinion, hindi po ako satisfied. That I think would be enough to answer the question that you have asked of me.
And last na lang.
Can I add to?
Sure po, sure po.
Siyempre kami ang prosecutors, may iniisip po kami kung anong gusto naming mangyari. Pero sa nakita natin kagabi, nakikita natin ang dami-daming interest sa plenary, 23 po sila. Alam ko pong mahirap yung ginagawa ng ating Senate President. Pero napunta tayo dito, may counting victory po tayo, magpapatuloy yung impeachment complaint, at siguro may counting i-clarify po natin. Siguro baka pasado na yun ng konti, Congressman Acop, na nangyari kagabi sa presiding officer.
Mr. Lead Prosecutor, the question is asked of me in my personal opinion. I stick with my personal opinion because I have my own basis. I hope that answers your question, Madam.
Last na lang po on my end. Other than Kong Keith po ba, may nag-share din po ng same sentiment na merong clear intent to kill or delay the impeachment? Or si Kong Keith lang po out of the 11 prosecutors?
I'm sorry?
Kung may
Address ba
nag-share,
sa akin?
sa House Prosec panel po, kung may nag-share lang din po ng same thought or view po with Kong Keith na there is a clear intent na i-delay or patayin yung impeachment.
Ako? Ako? Are you asking?
The Prosec panel po, if meron po
My
pong...
personal opinion? Yes. I said personal opinion, yes.
Yes.
From my experiences. Kasi I've been with government since 1970. Di ba? Now, kanina tinanong ninyo kung magkakaroon ba ng pag-asa kami dahil 17-5. Kami may pag-asa. You know why? During the ERAP impeachment trial, they had the numbers. Pero bakit nagbaliktad? Kasi nakita na yung ebidensya eh. As the gentle lady from Batangas said, wala pang naiprepresenta na ebidensya. Siguro pag nakita na ng mga tao at saka yung mga senator judges yung mga pieces of evidence, baka magbago po ang isip nila. So, yun po yung ibig sabihin ng sinabi ni Congressman Jinky. I think that's my take. Marami pong salamat.
Thank you po.
Risha Subing from Inquirer, for today's last question.
Sorry po. Kong Jinky, sorry po, follow up lang po. Yung motion po na pinaprepare niyo po, that is for the plenary or for the impeachment court po?
That is for the impeachment court.
That is for the impeachment. So, hindi po siya i-file today?
We wish to file it today.
Okay. And then my last question po. Kanina po it seems na your individual stances is that unconstitutional nga po yung ginawa ng Senate ng pag-remand ng articles of impeachment sa House. And yet, you're also signaling na you're willing to comply with the Senate, the stipulations of the order of the Senate. Hindi po ba siya two conflicting positions? I mean, if you give in to the Senate, and we assume that it is unconstitutional, then essentially being complicit also in that unconstitutional move.
Let me restate my position with accuracy. No? I said we will be seeking for clarification first, and that's why we will be asking for, we opted to defer receiving the orders as soon as we are clarified about the issues surrounding the order of the Senate last night. For as long as they are within the bounds of the law, the prosecution panel will comply.
So these are not two conflicting positions for you, ma'am?
I believe so.
It is, we are now in a choice between being combative or cooperative, di ba? mamimili kami kung makikikumbative kami o cooperative sa husgado. Sa korte, pag matapang ka masyado, baka malamang matatalo ka. Pero pag nagko-cooperate ka sa orders ng korte at naipresenta mo yung ebidensya, malamang mananalo po kayo. Kaya yung strategy namin is to act as prosecutors in front of impeachment judges, di ba? So, kaya ganun po ang aming ginagawa.
Thank you, House Prosecutors Luistro, Zamora, Acop, Chua, Libanan, Bungalon, Gutierrez, and Flores for joining us today. To everyone, magandang tanghali po sa inyong lahat.